Is this the lights or? Okay. All lights. I don't know. Whoa. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, August 21st. It's 4:45 with a quorum of members present in City Hall chambers. I'm calling this transit meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes of March 20th, 2025. They're in your packet. Any questions? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to accept.
What was I going to say? Approve of the minutes of the
Thank
March
you.
meeting.
How about a second? Second from Lukens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next thing is the discussion of possible action on the 2025 Hmong Festival. This is kind of an action report. I don't think we need action, but Ron can give us an update of what happened.
I didn't know I wasn't sure how much you were given for information, so I was just trying to provide, how many passengers we carried. So I provided in the packet that 4,289 passengers over 2 days. Thank you. All right, so we had 4,289 passengers that we hauled over those 2 days, but I didn't know what the cost. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware what it cost us to provide that for the Hmong Festival, and that's just basic cost, $4,702.15 with the overtime and everything that we provide, which is a pretty big expense. But when I did some research looking in our Title VI policy, that helps us maintain our Title VI status through being proper to help with the Hmong population in our community. So my first thought was, do we really want to continue doing this at that $4,000? And then as I read into Title VI, I thought maybe we have to. So it might be our best interest to keep going, but I really just wanted to provide the information for everyone so they knew what we were giving.
I have a question. That should have been brought to the Transit Commission for us to vote on to approve Metro Ride doing the shuttle.
I would agree that it should have been brought to you, and that was a failure on Transit Department leadership. And I can apologize for that, and that's about all I can do. So,
Because, they didn't get, the Hmong Association didn't get to Metro Ride on a timely manner either, if it wasn't for a bus driver contacting them.
I think that the director at the time, Aaron, didn't know that he was supposed to bring it, and then by time it was known that him and the mayor had made the decision, is my understanding. And I talked to Greg Soybert about that, and he said it needs to be brought forth, but it was obviously too late. And next year, I will do my best to make certain that is brought before us before we do anything like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions on that? Otherwise, we'll move on. Discussion and possible action on providing service to Northern Valley Industries.
Once again, and I believe Sherry is here to discuss it further, I provided the information. I came up with the only action plan that I could come up with that would be the lowest cost to the city of Wausau if we were to provide this service for them. I had some questions on whether we could just charge a fare and make it a route. And I didn't provide that because as I did more studying and I talked with Greg, he said that if we made it a route where we charged a fare, it would extend our paratransit into Stettin, and it would be 3/4 of a mile past. And so to make it a route isn't a viable option because of where that would extend it to. I tried driving it and pacing it all out, and it even, because of the 3/4 miles, it puts you into Rib Mountain, as weird as that is as well, because it drops to the south. So we can't charge. But one thing that I do know is that talking with Sherry, all of the people that would ride it, I shouldn't say all, majority of them, she buys she has them purchase passes to ride Metro Ride buses anyhow, and they get on our buses all throughout our city, and they meet out by Aspirus, and then they bring vans and pick them up there and go the rest of the way. So I was trying to look at some options, and in the summer, we have shop workers that could run that, and it wouldn't be in addition to labor cost. It would just be the fuel and the bus to go out there. In the school time as well, I listed on there, Tripper 5 gets done so early, and we pay those guys a 2-hour minimum anyway, so they're going to get paid their hourly wage, and they're going to have to work a little bit longer to make that trip, but it wouldn't be an additional labor cost. And then same thing on the ride home. If we did it at 2:30, we have employees that start at 2:15, and they don't have to be to the school until 3:15. So once again, they could go out there, pick them up, bring them to the TC, and drop them off, and there would be no extended labor cost. I just don't know with the budget cuts and everything in the city if that's something that we want to do. It would be simply fuel for I don't know if it's 3 miles. I should have probably figured that out, but your minimal expense. Yeah.
So my question is that, did you talk to Greg? How did we do this before?
When we charged,
Is that what we did?
I think he said they charged it one time, and then it became an issue with the 3/4 mile thing. And just like with the grocery bus that we do that for free as well. And the Transit Commission decided to continue doing that for free as well once that law changed. I think that you guys might have pulled out, though, before that even changed. I'm not sure how it ended, but we can't charge now, so.
If you guys want, I can talk about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, can I just
Give a
talk?
background. Yeah, just go up to the microphone.
Talk to the microphone? Thank you. Okay, yeah, so it was after COVID, and Inclusa actually made the decision to stop. They were sharing some of the costs with the city. And Inclusa chose, who's long-term care, if people aren't familiar with Inclusa, they provide some people rides to and from work, and so they would pay for the bus. And then they discontinued that and shifted to taxi. Now, if it went back to bus, Inclusa would also add to the ridership and more passes bought through ridership, probably.
Okay, that helps.
Please state your name for the record for people watching.
Thanks. I'm Sherry Wade. I'm with Northern Valley Industries.
Thoughts, commissioners? I think Ron has done some good work and found a way to finagle this, and I appreciate that. So it is getting our most vulnerable with higher barriers to a job, which I'm hoping will help get other employers maybe to look at this possibility, and we can expand. I think this is something we could do, find a way, and then use this as an example as we try to increase our ridership and get our more transit trips outside of our area. If we can show that, that this is a functional and a way to get things, people out to their job.
And is it something maybe we could put a timeline on? Like, hey, let's do it for a month. I'll track the absolute dead cost, and next meeting we can discuss it again and say, do we continue, or is that going to mess you
That's
up?
kind of mess. We can do that. A month is a little time, so I'm more generous.
What about to the end of the year? That would give you September, October,
I'm open to whatever you all
November,
decide.
December.
And make sure that it's working, make sure that we're seeing.
Get the bugs out.
Yep.
I think at minimum, I would like the end of the year, because
Okay.
I want to give it, if we give it a month, we don't know if everybody's going to use it right away, and then it's going to look like it's not being utilized, and we're not going to have a really good picture. But if we do this, and I want to have some good data to show why we're doing this and the benefits.
Sherry, can I ask you a question? How are you going to promote it to the people at the workshop about using the bus?
So we
again?
currently have, on average, it's 16 people a day that we transport. And so, and that's the summer. And we know that we have about 6 to 10 people a day who ride their bikes in. So winter it'll be more. It's not a problem for us to say it. We already have signs up about our process ourselves. And so for us, it would just be us not being the pickup. We would coordinate with the people that are there and tell them that now we have to change some schedules, some work schedules, and tell them they now need to be down at the transit center and pick up there and then come out.
And my other question, how long in the past did you use Metro Ride for the people to get to the workshop? It was quite a long time, right?
I would say it's as long as we've been around, as long as the buses have been working.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
it's been forever. And, with the transition to long-term care, that changed how people got to and from work, and particularly where we are. And then we have shifted now to work with people with any obstacles. So quite a few of our current employees are people that are homeless.
Yeah.
So transportation's tougher for them.
Do you know how many passes you currently purchase right now?
I think we just had 22 this month. And I think that if this were available, like I said, Inclusive probably would, but my concern is that if we are going to do a trial, a pilot, that I wouldn't really promote it to the Inclusive people at this time, until we knew for sure it was something that was going to be consistent.
Yeah.
Can I make a motion that we use this as a 6-month, September, October, November, December, a 5-month trial to offer bus to the Northern Valley Workshop, 2 times a day, correct?
Yes.
Yep, it would be 7:30 in the morning. Bring them out there. They would meet at the transit center at 7:30. So some of the passengers would get on throughout the
Right.
the area and come there, and then we would then bring them back at 2:30. Our driver would get out there by 2:30 and then bring them to the transit center, drop them off so they could transfer to another bus if they need to go another location. But no stops along the way unless we determine that that would work out. We could potentially, me and you can talk about it a little bit more, find some of the Irish route stops if there's a way to make that happen. So
I guess what I would like is maybe the commissioners would, like, data points that we're looking for. If we're only going to have such a short time, what, Ron, maybe you could help. What data would you need to see if this is like successful?
I think if I track the miles, I can figure out the fuel mileage and know exactly what that is, how many miles we actually put on in that time, and try and decipher, an idea of how much additional cost, and make certain also that it's not that I'm not wrong in my thinking, and all of a sudden we're paying somebody overtime because we're doing this or bringing somebody on, just to make sure. I think I'm accurate, but sometimes you make mistakes, and
Sure.
so to just help me protect myself from miscalculation.
What I would like, though, is if you and your staff would have it tickled on your calendars, so we definitely have a meeting and we don't have a break in service. So what we don't want is change people's routines.
Correct.
So I don't want to start this and we have their routine and then they say, we are working with people with barriers. We want to make this as barrierless as possible.
So instead of an end date, we have the.
Is it okay, I'm making rules, is it okay with the commission if we don't put a solid end date, but do relook at it in
Okay.
our meeting in December? Yeah, I was thinking too,
Yeah,
that really
that's-
isn't going to matter with your
Yeah.
budget, right?
Correct.
Okay, then let's
That's
do
fine
6
with
months.
me, however you want to do
Right.
it. I think it's a good thing we offer
So we'll
this.
say 6 months, we revisit the idea, but we're
Right.
not going to stop the
We're not
service.
going to have an end date.
Yep.
Because then things can happen, and so let's do a revisit. We'll look at those data points, and then we won't have to do anything to reignite it. It would already be going. Is that agreeable? Perfect. Okay, so I just need a second on,
I'll second on that.
okay. Any other discussion? No? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously.
And who seconded it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, discussion and possible action on accepting the VW settlement grant from the state of Wisconsin and related 2025 budget modification for purchase of 10 buses for Wausau Metro Ride. This has been kind of on and off our schedules for a while. We were waiting for finally for the invoice from Gillig with the idea of what it was going to cost, and so it's been held back, and Ron has that information today.
Yes, and I don't know how many of you received the quote, but the baseline is $601,700 per bus. The grant makes available $640,000 per bus. So we have a $38,000 wiggle room if something were to change, because on the cover page, did everybody get one of these or no? Okay. It was brought to my attention by Becky that, there's a potential that we would go over, and then what would we do? So we have $38,000 to work with there in that concern. And if we were to get to the place where they went above the 640, we don't have the money, so we would have to pull out of the deal altogether. The scary part is, though, is our fleet is, it's probably the oldest one in Wisconsin. We have 2 buses that are 17 years old. One of them has over 700,000 miles on it. We have 8 buses that are 16 years old with around 400,000 miles, and we have 6 buses that are 14 years old with around 300,000 miles on them. And we only have 7 of the newer buses, which are 22s, and they're already starting to hit. They're out of warranty now. They're over the 100,000 mile mark, and there's not another VW grant coming out. So this is our real last chance to really take this on. And I think our fleet is in desperate shape, and this would bring us out of that desperate situation.
So I did talk to Ron. I read the email today, and I panicked a bit because it said, this could change, and most likely will change with tariffs, because we're looking at okaying this today, and then the build starts, 18 months down the road. And so we don't know what's going to happen, and I'm concerned about having that wiggle room or whatever. So Ron did assure me that if we sign the agreement today, and when they start the build, if it's way up, we could come back and change the order to less buses, if that's something, because I want that satisfaction, because I'm concerned, and you never know. I'm sure Gillig is a good place, but for them to expect changes in our
Right.
quote, that worries me, because I don't know what's going to happen especially when you talk about steel and aluminum and things like that.
Right.
So I feel better now, and that was the answer to my question that I received that
And I
weekend.
also stated it is a Buy America, so the minimally comes from outside the borders. So when it comes to the tariffs, I was even confused why it got brought up, because it's Buy America. We have to buy products in America, so I don't think the tariffs affect stuff from here. So I don't it seems almost wild to me that he put that in there, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But we have the option to stop it. But in order for us to go forward, we have to approve it here and bring it to finance and then to the Common Council. So,
Ron, this is Kathy. I have a question. The county, I'm on the Transportation Coordinating Committee representing the elderly and disabled, and they have $8521. Can that be used to offset some of the costs? Because there's money still in there, but I don't know for sure what it can be used for. That might be worth checking that out, too.
yeah, I do have a meeting with Aaron from the county next week. I can talk to him about that for sure. If you could send me an email of where you think the money could come from, I'll be happy to look into it.
Well, I think that $8521, there's still money in that budget.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it could be used for buses or not.
I would have to look into that. I'll be happy to, but it would, hopefully we don't have to, it's
But
going to be
it's an
coming out of
option
our
to look
budget.
into.
So the goal would be that hopefully we don't have to, but I will definitely talk to Aaron and make certain that if there is an option for that, that we find it.
Any other questions on this? Otherwise, we'll take a motion to accept to do the 10 buses, accept the grant.
I make a motion to accept the grant for the 10 buses with the VW settlement.
Perfect. Second by Hope. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes, and that's it. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Question?
Sure.
When is the mayor going to appoint someone replace our lovely friend Gary that passed away?
I'm going to have the mayor answer that.
Okay. All right. I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Could I have a second to that, I guess? Second, okay. All in favor, say aye, and we are adjourned. Thanks.
Aye.